Hello children. In today's lecture we are going to learn about different types of chemical reactions. So in the previous lecture we started with the types of chemical reactions and we covered about combination reaction. Hope you remember what is a combination reaction. So in a combination reaction, if you observe here, two different substances, they combine to form a single product. Please remember, two different substances, they combine with each other to form a single product. In the case of this example, if you observe, quicklime and water, they both are getting reacted to generate slaked lime, right? So which is nothing but calcium hydroxide. So this type of reaction we observed. So this is a combination reaction. So, and similarly other examples also we discussed. If you take the example of burning of coal, then in that case carbon and oxygen, carbon in the solid form and oxygen in the gaseous form, they are reacting with each other, they are combining with each other to form carbon dioxide which is in the gaseous form. So this is also another example for the combination reaction. So now formation of water also, if you observe, hydrogen in the gaseous form, oxygen in the gaseous form, they are getting reacted to form water in the liquid form. So these all, if you observe, so different substances or different materials are combining with each other, are reacting with each other to generate a single product which is known as combination reaction. So if you take an other examples for this one, if you take burning of natural gas. So in the case of burning of natural gas, methane CH4 is in the gaseous form, which is getting reacted with oxygen which is in the gaseous form in the atmosphere, and it is going to generate CO2 and H2O in the gaseous form. So here this type of reactions are known as exothermic reactions. What are exothermic reactions? Thermic means it is related to the temperature. So thermic, exo means it is releasing heat. So whenever in any particular reaction, if heat is getting generated, those type of reactions are known as exothermic reactions. And if the heat is not generated, heat is absorbed in a particular reaction, then it is known as endothermic reaction. So please observe the difference. Exothermic means heat will be released, and endothermic means heat will be endothermic and exothermic. So here heat is released. Exo means heat will be released, and endothermic means heat will be taken inside. So like this you can remember, right? And some other examples, if you observe this, you will get in your biology. So here when our food is getting digested, so the heat energy will be released in this particular reaction. And another one, even forming of compost also, heat will be released. So that is also a best example for the exothermic reaction. So in the digestion process also, food is broken down into smaller substances. So whatever the food intake that we take, so that will be converted to form glucose. So this the glucose will combine with oxygen in the cells. So in our cells we are having oxygen that will be supplied from our heart. So heart and lungs will be helping out to reach oxygen to each and every cell. You know that, right? So this glucose will react with the oxygen present in the cells, and what happens? So this reaction is nothing but respiration process. So in that process, carbon dioxide will be released that will come out of our body, and water is released, and even energy will be released in this process. So because of this respiration process only, we are getting the required amount of energy for our body, right? So the decomposition of vegetable matter into compost. So that is the best example for the exothermic reaction. Like this, whenever in a particular reaction heat is getting released, then that is known as the exothermic reaction. If multiple number of materials or compounds are getting reacted to form a single compound, then that is known as the combination reaction. So these two now we observed. Now we go to the next type of reaction. Yes, now the second reaction that we are going to discuss is about decomposition reaction. So in the decomposition reaction, if you observe, uh, actually in this what happens is single compound will be single reactant breaks down to give simpler products. So here one particular compound will be there, and that will be breaking down into simpler products in the decomposition. How this decomposition process will happen? So this decomposition can happen due to multiple reasons. So the sources may be, you can give heat to that substance, you can supply heat, or it may be sunlight, right? So like this, external input has to be given to the product, then it will get decomposed into other products. So for this one, and even you can give electricity also, this may happen using electricity also. So different forms of sources, if you give to this particular substance, so it will be decomposed into simpler products, then that type of reaction is known as the decomposition reaction. So here in the activity you can observe here what they are doing is, they took the ferrous sulfate which is in the solid form. So what they are taking 2 grams of ferrous sulfate crystals are taken in a dry boiling tube. If you observe, they took ferrous sulfate, so FeSO4 ferrous sulfate, it is in the form of crystals form, solid form, that we are taking into the tube. Color of the ferrous sulfate crystals you can observe. So now what you are doing, you are giving the heat energy. Heat is given using the flame or burner that you are using here. Heat is supplied, and after heating, what is going to happen? So if you observe here, ferric oxide is getting formed, and SO2 gas is getting released, sulfur dioxide and SO3 gaseous form. So two types of gases are getting released, and Fe2O3 is formed in the solid form. So here what is happening? Wafting gas gently towards the nose. So the gases are getting released after this reaction what happened. So in this reaction, after decomposition, ferrous sulfate is getting is taking heat energy, and it is decomposed into 3 different substances. What are the 3 different substances? First one is ferric oxide, right? Ferric oxide is a solid, right? And SO2 and SO3 are getting formed. These two are gases. So SO2 is a sulfur dioxide and SO3 is sulfur trioxide. So this decomposition process you can observe using the activity here. And another example of decomposition is, take calcium carbonate, CaCO3 is calcium carbonate. So it is in the solid form, right? It is also known as limestone. So this we get abundant in atmosphere. So limestone will be taken, and we heat that limestone. So this is a very important decomposition reaction. It is used in the industries. So here calcium oxide is called lime or quicklime. When you give heat energy to the limestone, then calcium oxide is formed, which is known as which is in the solid form, and it is also known as quicklime. So quicklime is having many uses. It is helped in the manufacturing of cement. If you observe cement industries, this is very important in the cement industry. So calcium oxide plays a major role. So right, this is known as in this case how the decomposition process is happening. using the heat energy. So these type of decompositions are known as thermal decomposition. Whenever there is an involvement of heat, those type of reactions are known as thermal decomposition, right? So if the decomposition is happening with the help of heat, then we name it as thermal decomposition. Now another example you can take for this thermal decomposition itself. So just now we understood two different thermal decompositions examples we have seen. So ferrous sulfate is one example. So here we take another example in this activity. I will take lead nitrate. Okay, what is lead nitrate? Lead is symbol is Pb. So lead nitrate is PbNO3 taken twice. So this is in the solid form. So I am taking this lead nitrate powder in the boiling tube I am taking. So I am giving heat energy using this burner. So I am holding this using the pair of tongues. How important it is to hold it properly. We should not keep straight. If you keep that boiling tube straight and if you are doing that experiment, sometimes what happens, these gases may go into our nose and it is very dangerous to our health. So you have to be very careful because some of the reactions are exothermic and heat energy may be producing and it will be very hot. So how you are holding that is important, and this slant position also important. Right, and you are giving the heat energy here, and what is the input here? Lead nitrate you are taking, and we are heating the lead nitrate. Then this is also which type of reaction? It is also decomposition reaction, right? So heat is given to this one also. So just now we discussed that whenever we are giving the heat energy, then it is known as thermal decomposition. So here also thermal decomposition is happening. So lead nitrate is absorbing heat and it is generating lead oxide. Lead oxide is again in the solid form that you can observe in the tube itself. And what are the gases that are getting released? Lead oxide and nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. Both gases are getting released from the tube. So this is the best example for thermal decomposition. Now very interesting one, interesting activity you can observe here. So just now we discussed about exothermic decomposition reactions using heat energy, right? Now we are going to discuss about the decomposition reaction using electricity. So here if you observe 6 volts battery we are giving here. So here the input source for the decomposition is current, that you have to understand. So here we are giving current here, and here we are having anode and cathode because battery will have both, right, positive and negative terminals, right? So what we are taking, what is the input here? We are taking a mug of water, right? And in the mug, plastic mug we are taking. So we are putting at the base of that mug two rubber stoppers. We are doing 2 holes in that one, and we are inserting carbon electrodes in these rubber stoppers as shown in this figure. So we are putting 2 holes to the plastic mug, right? Stoppers we are putting, right? And we are arranging these tubes inside the mug. Now we are connecting these electrodes, anode and cathode, to 6 volts battery. We are filling that mug with the water such that electrodes are immersed. You have to take care that these electrodes are immersed inside the water, and add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to the water. Why we are adding this sulfuric acid, that we observe. So now you will observe that after a particular after a little bit of time, what happens, these test tubes that we connected, they are inverted, right? So they will be invert them over the 2 carbon electrodes which are on the current and leave the apparatus undisturbed for some time. So we are observing what is going to happen after some time. So you will observe bubbles at both the electrodes. Both the electrodes you will observe bubbles, some gas is getting released. These bubbles displace water in the test tube. When these bubbles are getting formed, so you will observe some displacement or movement inside the water. So is the volume of the gas collected in both the test tubes is same? That you have to observe, that won't be same, right? Once the test tubes are filled with the respective gases, remove them carefully. Test these gases one by one by bringing burning candle close to the mouth of the test tubes. So now which gas is released, and to observe that they are asking us to test the gases using the candle, burning candle. So what you have to do, gases, if you observe, anode side you will observe oxygen, and in the cathode side you will get, in the test tube, hydrogen gas will be released. So what happened? Actually water is H2O. When we did this electrolysis of water. What is this electrolysis of water? We are giving battery supply, and whenever we are giving the supply or current to this, water is getting decomposed into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. These two gases are getting released on the oxygen we are getting at the anode side, and hydrogen gas we are getting at the cathode side. This is another example for decomposition reaction, but here the source is not heat energy. In this case the source is current supply. So in the another activity, now we learned about two types, right? Decomposition using heat energy, that is thermal decomposition. Decomposition using current or electricity, that is electrolysis in the water. Now what is the other one? Decomposition with the sunlight energy. For that one, that this activity we are observing. In this activity, I am taking silver chloride. Silver chloride, that we are keeping that in a china dish. It's a bowl kind of thing, and that is exposed to sunlight. You can observe here. So if you keep like that, what happens? Silver chloride get decomposed into silver and chlorine. So what happens? The silver chloride it will be, you can observe, that turns gray in sunlight. What is that gray substance? That is nothing but silver in the solid form, and chlorine will be released as a gas. So this is the example for the decomposition using heat energy or sun energy. So silver bromide also you can test like this. Similar way, silver is Ag and silver bromide AgBr. It is in the solid form. If it is exposed to sunlight, it will be decomposed into silver and bromine. So this is also a decomposition reaction. Like this, you can take 2 grams of barium hydroxide in test tube, add 1 gram of ammonium chloride and mix with the help of glass rod. Touch the bottom of the test tube with your palm. What do you feel? Is this exothermic or endothermic? This you have to observe, and I will give you answer for these questions in our next lecture. So you also try to get the answer for these questions, right? Thank you.